So in the last class, I stopped at how to use JavaScript to toggle events. I hope you guys can remember this code. Can you? Can you?
Yes.
Okay. In it, I could click on the button and the event toggles. Now, I showed you this way because whatever method you see out there in the wide, this is what is happening at the background. Now, I could easily just on this event, I could just easily use the toggle method. Like instead of remove, I just said dot toggle. So toggle this button class, add it, at the same time remove it. So I do not need this state. I don't even need to test for any any condition. So let's see. Okay, let's see what this will give us. I can easily remove this one. So just by you calling the toggle method on the class list, I can see achieves the same thing. I click, so it toggles, achieving exactly the same effect. But what I demonstrated last week is what is happening behind the scene of this function. This is a function that belongs to this object. And this one belongs to this object as well. So is there any question in what I just demonstrated? Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So I wanted to demonstrate this event does stop propagation. I talked about event bubbling the last time, right? So let me quickly do that before we close for the day. So let's say um let me just create another file I'm going to call it div ties. Div ties. Dot html. Let me close all these other ones. Now I have my HTML. So in that HTML, I'm going to create three divs. So what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to nest this div. if I run it, you will not see anything on the screen. If I run this, nothing, right? Because it's just divs. The divs are there anyway, but you won't be able to see anything because I, I did not put any form of borders. For the first one, I'm going to say div 1. And for the second div, I will say div 2. And for the inner one, I will say div 3. I have it as shown, right? But let us give give each of them some style. Let me just call style. I will say let me just do dot divs. Okay, let me give it a meaningful div style. So let's say border. Let me just say 5 pixel solid uh of the class, missing classes and so on and so forth, not doing assignments and so on and so forth. So now let's get back to business. So I'm going to do okay, yes, let me just do black for example, black there. So I'm going to run my okay, let me add this, the class. So let me just copy this and has save. Okay, so now I have that, but let me give it every one of them width. I will give a width, say 200 pixel, and let me make it let me give it a display of table cell. Let's see. Okay. So padding, let me give it a padding. Padding of say 20 pixel. Okay. So now I have 3 divs, div 1, 2, and 3. So I want to add my scripts, my JavaScript. So I can do that by saying script. Let's add to each of these an event. And I want to add the event at the same time. How do I do that? Okay, I can decide to add one after the other. For example, maybe let's give it, what time is it? Okay, I need to round up. The time will not permit. Okay, let me just permit because of the break. So let me just quickly add what's it called? An ID, div1, div1, and let's call this div2, and let's say div3. Time will not permit me today to fully explore this exercise. So let me quickly just add events. Document dot get elements by ID. Div1. So I'm going to add on click event. I'm using another way of adding an event instead of the event listener. So now I'm going to add the event listener for that. So I'll just say alert, alert div1 got div1 got clicked. So I'm going to add to the other two. So let's see 2 and 3. Ah, let, let me call back. I can't pick your call now. Div2 and div3. So now I've added an event to the 3 div tags. So let's go and see what event bubbling is. If I click on the div3, you see div3 got clicked. If I say okay, you can now see div2 got clicked. If I say okay, div1 got clicked. This is what is called event bubbling. I did not. So please let me answer this call, please. Sorry for the break again. So now this is event bubbling. I'm clicking on div3, right? And because div3 is right within this div1, and sorry, div2, and div2 is right within this div1. So the moment I click on the div3, the event on the other 2 divs will be activated automatically. That is what is called bubbling. If I click on div2, div3 will not be triggered, but div1 will be triggered. If I click on div1, only div1 will be triggered. Now, we can stop event bubbling by just adding, I think, using the event object, and we do event dot stop propagation. We call that method on each of the handlers. But the better way is, okay, maybe in the next class, we discuss a better way. Now, the moment I do that, okay, on div 1, I don't think I need to do this anyway, because div 1 already is the outer div. So if I refresh, if I click on div 3 and I say okay, you will see that it did not bubble any longer. If I click on div 2 and I say okay, you see it did not bubble up to div 1. Div 1 will still be triggered. So that is the purpose of the stop propagation. Is just to stop the event from bubbling, from propagating to parent element. So I'm going to stop here today because of time. Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay, no question. All right, so we will continue in the next class. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.